Do you crave the excitement of international criminal intrigue but lack the skills to make that dream come true? Do the voices inside your head tell you that you were meant for something more? Then the Taskmaster Institute is for you.
This was the best adaptation of Taskmaster outside the comics, and nothing ever came close to this. If you remember the old Wolverine X-Men Origins movie, you know that the worst thing about it was Deadpool, a character portrayal universally hated by everyone who saw it. And although we eventually got a proper adaptation, for a while this nightmare was the only thing we had. What's so bad about this Deadpool? Well, his design barely resembles Deadpool, his powers are wrong, a merc with a mouth has no mouth anymore, which is probably the most ridiculous thing about it. He also has no agency, no mind of his own. Overall, it was all awful. And when you really think about it, this is also what happened to Taskmaster. Two very charismatic, talkative, superpowered mercenaries were robbed of the ability to make quips. Both are just mindless drones that barely resemble what they were supposed to be. Taskmaster's adaptation has all the problems Deadpool had, with one distinction. You were allowed to criticize Deadpool, however, you were not supposed to criticize Taskmaster. And that's because he became a she. And you couldn't criticize a female character without being called a bigot. Using all kinds of buzzwords as a shield from criticism was, for years, a favorite tactic of our favorite movie studios, and also many game developers. Of course, I would always complain about gender swapping this character because I wanted to see Anthony Masters on the big screen, not some random Russian woman. You can call her Taskmaster, but she will never really be him. But if the change was made for a good reason, resulting in making the movie better, I could at least respect it. Unfortunately, the Black Widow movie not only was kind of bad, but Taskmaster was the worst part.
What did it cost?
Everything.
Here at the Institute, we train you for a life of power and skill. You will learn 7 different styles of martial arts.
In the comics, Taskmaster is Anthony Masters, a guy with photographic reflexes who can mimic any move he sees. From Captain's America shield toss to some crook cheating at cards. He's not just a mercenary, he runs an entire school for villains. His students often become henchmen of powerful criminal organizations, but they remain partially loyal to their teacher, which means that Taskmaster has potential spies in every major organization on Earth. Taskmaster is a master of disguise with access to holographic technology. But in the MCU she is a terrible assassin, she stands out way too much in this stupid outfit. In the comics, Taskmaster can be subtle and blend into the crowd when he has to. You'd never see him in broad daylight in a discount Power Ranger suit, unless he wants you to see him. It also should be impossible to defeat Taskmaster in hand-to-hand combat. That is his entire gimmick. He's like a game boss that you can't defeat by just spamming attacks. You need to outsmart him somehow. Meanwhile, in the MCU, Black Widow does it just because she can. In comics, Tony Masters copies moves instantly, adapting mid-fight to counter everything. He fought Daredevil, Spider-Man and Iron Fist to a standstill, because after Taskmaster learns you move patterns, there is nothing you can do anymore. And he learns them extremely fast.
Your technique.
Years of study in Kunlun.
Years for you, seconds for me.
No! Who taught you that move?
You did.
Natasha winning so easily makes no sense.
That's just lazy writing.
The comics force heroes to trick him, like using unfamiliar moves or exploiting his ego, or crashing an aircraft into a building. You're crazy, Moon Knight. MCU made Taskmaster Dracov's daughter for the sake of some forced emotional stakes. But why not use the comics SHIELD angle instead? Taskmaster as a former SHIELD agent could be easily tied to Natasha without ruining his character. He could be her old trainer who taught her SHIELD tactics before he betrayed Nick Fury, just like Natasha betrayed her people. It's so easy if you know the source material, but who am I kidding? We all know that people at Marvel Studios never read the comics, so they probably didn't even know about it. They probably thought Taskmaster was some random goon.
If you're smart enough to find me, you're smart enough to learn the lessons I can teach you.
Thank you for watching. If you want to read some good Taskmaster stories, I would start with Taskmaster Anything You Can Do, a compilation of Taskmaster appearances in the comics. Taskmaster 2010, which tells us his origin story. Taskmaster from 2002, also a very enjoyable read. King in Black Thunderbolts, this is just a mini-series but I liked it very much. And Deadpool vs Punisher, where Taskmaster is the antagonist. I think these are my favorite ones, unless I'm forgetting something. If you know any other good Taskmaster stories, feel free to share them. I am always looking for more.
The Taskmaster Institute, when you positively, absolutely know you were meant for something more.
Recent Taskmaster design was much better, but let's be honest, killing her off was the right move. I know that many people were hoping for this to happen.